You're watching The 7 from WATE 6 on your side.
Good evening, I'm Bo Williams, and welcome to The 7. Let's get a look at the Big 7 stories right now. And topping the list for us tonight, a 17-year-old Sequoyah High School student has now been arrested after 2 school resource officers and a nurse were exposed to fentanyl. District Attorney General Stephen Crump's office posted pictures from inside, people dressed in protective suits wearing air masks. The DA's office says the Drug and Crime Task Force helped the sheriff and his department remove fentanyl residue. 2 school resource officers and a school nurse were treated with Narcan and taken to the hospital. And the Monroe County Sheriff's Office tells us SROs were called by a teacher to remove the student from a classroom. That's when a vape pen fell to the floor. Now, the SROs picked up the pen, which was laced with fentanyl, and the 17-year-old was then arrested. Next on our list, the Knoxville community is remembering a well-known and well-liked performer killed in a shooting the day before Thanksgiving on Nichols Avenue. 30-year-old Alonzo Rogers was a part of a musical group called the Good Guy Collective. Fellow artists are remembering Alonzo Rogers for what they say is a voice like magic.
Along with the voice, he had this presence that just, you know, that was really sweet and humble, and it was like a childlike spirit that was contagious. So he had a lot of energy, and he was the life of the show. Like everybody, like he was like the fan favorite when we had live events.
And if we do our job right, then people will hear his voice along with our voice and understand the power of these voices. But I know for the rest of our lives we're gonna be paying homage to that man.
The loss is hard for his friends to understand. It's clear Rogers made an impact on these men, but he also made an impact on his community, and it will be felt through every note of every song. No suspects have been arrested in Rogers' death. Anyone with information is asked to please call 1-800-222-8477. Next up, 3 people are recovering after a shooting in Knoxville last night. 3 people were hurt and called 911 for help while driving away. Knoxville police say the victims were told to pull over on Sunset Road in the Holston Hills area. Now, the victims, a man and 2 women, were taken to UT Medical Center. Police say their injuries were not life-threatening. We're told investigators went back over to Joy Road around McDonald Road to search there and talk with witnesses as well. Anyone with information should reach out online to East Tennessee Valley Crime Stoppers. Again, that phone number for you, it is 1-800-222-8477. Also, remember, you can contact the group online or through the P3 Tips app. And again, you can remain anonymous, and the right information could come with a cash reward. Next to the Big 7, an update to an arrest that we told you about last night at 11 o'clock. A Knoxville man has now been arrested in connection with a fatal hit and run in Clinton. Police identified 50-year-old Dan Cole as their suspect, arresting him last night on aggravated vehicular homicide charges. He's now being held on a $500,000 bond. Cole is accused of hitting and killing 39-year-old Jordan Pitts on Clinch Avenue. Pitts was riding a motorized bike and on his way to work earlier this month when he was hit. His family is now sharing what they felt after hearing about the arrest.
There was a moment of relief because I've not slept. It's been very uneasy feeling, no peace in my life at the moment. So it gives me a relief, but it does not bring him back, unfortunately.
His cousin says she will be in that courtroom every step of the way until Jordan's case is resolved. Cole was arraigned today and is scheduled for another hearing on December 8th. Tragic news out of Michigan earns our next spot here in the Big 7. 3 students are now dead, several more injured, including a teacher after a school shooting north of Detroit in Oxford Township. A 15-year-old suspect was taken into custody within 5 minutes of 911 calls going out. We understand he is a sophomore at the school, and investigators say he invoked his right not to speak when he was arrested. Now, police are now searching his home, we understand. We're told 6 of the victims are in stable condition, 2 more are in surgery. Right now, there is no known motive for the shooting. President Biden also spoke about the tragedy earlier today.
As we learn the full details, my heart goes out to the families enduring the unimaginable grief of losing a loved one. Apparently, there are somewhere in the order of 9 people shot, and several, or 3, I think, are dead. And the young man, I think, is, as I understand it from staff, is about 15 years old, and he turned himself in.
So far, those who were killed have not been identified, and there's no word on the conditions of those surviving victims. Multiple agencies are now investigating and processing the crime scene. Our next Big 7 story follows the ongoing search for missing 5-year-old Summer Wells. Now today, TBI says search teams went back to the Beech Creek area with 12 other agencies and 2 K-9 teams. This search comes after ground searches had been scaled back months ago. Now, TBI says today's effort was planned to take advantage of winter weather. With less foliage in the area, they will be able now to get into places search teams could not reach before. Of course, we're going to keep you updated as we learn more. And rounding out the Big 7 for us, the Budweiser Clydesdales are now in town, and one local veteran has been dreaming of meeting up with them and their handlers. Howard Oliver is 90 and living in Seymour. For him, meeting the handlers and Clydesdales will be like going back in time. You see, he used to work at Anheuser-Busch shortly after serving in the Navy, and he loved every minute of it. He spent his time working as part of the event crew, traveling with the Clydesdales, and at 90 years of age, he still lights up when talking about those days.
I've sat up on top of the wagon. I've held the reins. I've done it all with them. I really enjoyed every minute I had with them.
Oliver loved Clydesdales so much, he later bought 2 for his daughter. Now, we've been in contact with the Budweiser team. We're hoping we can help make Oliver's wish come true. Of course, catching that smile when it does. Don't miss the Clydesdales' first public appearance this week. It's tomorrow at the Turkey Creek Shopping Center.